Welcome everyone to our live orientation for our NACYML MOOC, Being a Church of Mercy. My name is Joe Wires. I've been the MOOC project coordinator. I'm here with Dr. Charlotte McCorkadale, the chair of the National Association of Catholic Youth Ministry Leaders.
Hi everybody and welcome. We're glad to have you as part of this live orientation session. Welcome also to those of you who are viewing this recording of the session. We're glad to have all of you be a part of what we're doing. Joe, you're going to get us started in prayer?
Yes, ma'am. So let us go ahead and let us pray the prayer for the Jubilee Year of Mercy. And so we begin in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. You are the visible face of the invisible Father, of the God who manifests his power above all by forgiveness and mercy. Let the church be your visible face in the world, its Lord risen and glorified. You willed that your ministers could also be clothed in weakness, in order that they may feel compassion for those in ignorance and error. Let everyone who approaches them feel sought after, loved, and forgiven by God. Send your Spirit and consecrate every one of us with its anointing, so that the Jubilee of Mercy may be a year of grace from the Lord, and your church, with renewed enthusiasm, may bring good news to the poor, proclaim liberty to captives and the oppressed, and restore sight to the blind. We ask this through the intercession of Mary, Mother of Mercy, you who live and reign with the Father and the Holy Spirit forever and ever. Amen. In the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have all of you with us. If you haven't taken time yet to actually sign in and on the chat, please do so. We want to call your attention to the bottom of the screen. If you haven't found the chat on the live on the page yet, it's a little blue item at the bottom of the screen. And you click on that and the chat will expand. And this will be the same site we use for all of our live sessions. So bookmark this page, nacyml.org/MOOC. Please type in where you're from if you haven't already done so. The other thing that I'd love to know, as I'm looking at folks from just all over the place here, Grand Rapids, Mobile, it's great to have some of these back, Oregon, Chattanooga. Gosh, I've seen a lot of faces of names rather of folks that I know. Youngstown, Chicago. Great to have you from all over the country to be with us today. But the other thing I'd like to know is how many of you have participated in the last MOOC. So if you wouldn't mind typing in yes or no. Our last MOOC was on the theme of encounter, and we utilized Evangelii Gaudium as the text of that MOOC and the focus of that MOOC. So if you joined us for that MOOC, if you wouldn't mind typing in yes or no, just so that Joe and I can kind of get a sense of who we have live with us and let you know how much has changed between the last MOOC and this MOOC. Our MOOC officially begins next week, February 28th, and it goes for 3 weeks this time, all the way to March 19th. So we're real excited about that. Last time we had 5-week MOOC, but we really felt like we needed to reduce the size of it. And so based on the feedback we got, so this year we're doing 3 weeks. Our weekly topics, we decided to really dig deep into being a church of mercy in this Jubilee Year of Mercy. And so our weekly topics will be being a merciful church for families. Our master teacher and keynoter is Dr. Tim Hogan. Being a merciful church for youth with Dr. Bob McCarty. And our third week is being a merciful church for all with Monsignor Ray East. Plus this week, and as an introduction to the whole MOOC, we are honored again to have Bishop Caggiano, who is the Episcopal moderator for the NFCYM. He's done an introduction to mercy for us, and it's excellent. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go in and do that right away. I think it'll give you a real great introduction to this whole topic. Obviously, in this year of mercy, this is a great time to be talking about all of these different themes. So for those of you who haven't participated before, I'll just go over what a typical MOOC week looks like and call your attention to those who did participate before to some of the changes that are happening in this MOOC, besides for the length of it. On Saturday night at midnight, so basically at midnight on Friday, early Saturday morning, each week the master teacher videos will go live. So you'll have all day Saturday and throughout the weekend to begin watching that video. We also encourage you on that Saturday or Sunday. The MOOC week actually typically starts on a Sunday to begin the readings and reviewing the other learning content. On Tuesdays, we have live sessions from 2 to 3:30 and then again at 9 o'clock. Now, it's important to note that our live sessions are 45 minutes, but we're going to actually have 2 live sessions back to back on Tuesday afternoons. That's one of the things that's new in the MOOC this year. I'll be talking about that a little bit more in a moment. And then at 9 o'clock, we repeat our panel. That happens, and it happens for 45 minutes. Also, in a typical MOOC week, we'll be encouraging you to share your learning with others all week through the community forums and Wednesdays through Saturdays in the expert forums. And I'll be explaining the different forums to you in just a moment as well. So you can kind of see the panel on the screen. It's probably kind of small print, but you can see the panel and the keynotes and the hosts that'll be with us each of the weeks. We're real excited to have folks like Tom East and Katie Prejean, Doug Tuke, Dr. Ansel Augustine, Ted Miles, Marilyn Santos, lots of great names in the field of Catholic youth ministry to join us for these live panel sessions. And you can also see all the different folks that'll be hosting these live sessions. So we're excited about that as too. We're very grateful to Margaret from NCCL, the executive director. Margaret is going to be our host in week 3. It's been a great partnership with NCCL, and we want to welcome all of those of you who are NCCL members. So what's new in this MOOC versus last time? So I know some of the names, I could see that you joined us last time. What we've tried to do, and you'll get a chance in just a moment to see the MOOC classroom. We'll take you on a live tour. But you're going to see that it's simplified, and we've really tried to simplify both the learning experience as well as streamline the course site. One of the changes is that we've moved away from the net sourcing learning groups into using general forums, and I'll be describing those in detail in just a moment and why we chose to do that. And we've also added a live discussion with master teachers and keynoters. We're real excited about that. We have from the first 45 minutes of the 2 o'clock session, all Eastern time, 2 o'clock, will be with our panel. And then we'll take a short break, and then we'll move into a live conversation with the master teacher from that week. Some of the panel may stay on to have a conversation with the master teacher, but really that time is designed for you to make comments and ask questions of the master teacher for them to comment on. So we're excited about adding that session. That session will only be on Tuesday afternoons. We will not repeat that at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we'll have the live panel session repeated, but the only time the master teacher will be with us will be following the panel session there. So I just want to go over with you the weekly readings that we're using. We're using a number of teachings from Pope Francis, various homilies that he has had. Those readings are going to be provided to you in the form of links. You'll see that. We've also put together PDF reading books for you for each week, and then one for the whole MOOC. These are great homilies, and we really encourage you to take some time to read through them to really enrich your learning. These are the readings the panelists and the master teachers are using as part of their reflection for the MOOC and part of how they'll unpack this weekly theme. And so we want to encourage you to do that. So that's our week 1 readings. Our week 2 readings focused on being a merciful church for youth. You can again see the different places that we have different addresses from the Pope and messages from the Pope. So we're excited about that. And then in week 3, being a merciful church for all, you see that we have these readings as well. So they'll all be put together for you. I think you'll find them all to be quite insightful and challenging as well. So Joe, how's it going on the discussion board? We got folks all set up and going?
Most. We have our NACYML friend who's having a few difficulties, Amy, but otherwise everyone else seems to be doing good, able to hear us well, and we're chatting in the box. And so this is a good way to just kind of share. This is what our typical live sessions are going to look like. We're going to have our host. In fact, Charlotte's going to be hosting our second week. And then either myself or Craig Gould from the Archdiocese of Baltimore. Every once in a while, we're going to check. Our host is going to check in with us to see how the chat's happening, and at that point, I'm going to be asking questions or sharing exactly what's going on. Yay! Our NACYML friend got it working on her iPad, so that's always good to know. The big thing to know is during our live sessions, most of our panelists will not be able to see your chat. They'll be relying on myself or Craig to forward anything to them, as well as us forwarding their comments to you as well. They have their own private chat room. And then the second part is also just understand that depending on the day and the connections and everything, there's going to always be somewhat of a delay or some kind of streaming delay. So right now there's actually about there's about a 10-second delay. So but we anticipate that can get up to 30 seconds at different points in time. So
all right, great. Well, thanks, Joe. Well, I'd like to take a few minutes then before we go to the live classroom just to talk to you about what the online learning discussions will look like. As you saw earlier, I mentioned that we moved away from using the group format that we did in the last MOOC because we felt like we dispersed the learning community just a little bit too much. So this time we will have a series of about 5 or 6 forums. The first forum you're going to see up there, it's actually live right now, is the introduction forum. I want to encourage you to use this forum to learn about the other learners in the MOOC and also to introduce yourself. There will be an ongoing prayer forum to have a chance to offer prayers of mercy to our loving God and to pray together as a community. And then we'll also be having a Spanish language forum for those wanting to share their learning in Spanish instead of English. Unfortunately, due to funding, we haven't been able to produce all of the materials in Spanish, but hopefully in our next MOOC we'll be able to do that. But we still wanted to offer an opportunity both for the readings to be in Spanish and for there to be some sharing in Spanish for folks that, that would be a better learning experience. And to replace the net sourcing groups, we've developed 2 primary types of forums, and I would like to take a moment to explain those to you. There's going to be a community forum, and that forum is just going to be an ongoing forum that's going to happen every day of the MOOC. This forum is to share your thoughts, insights, and questions about the MOOC learning content with other MOOCers. I made up that word. And or find other learners who share your ministry or concerns by starting your own discussions threads. So in this community forum, while we'll have some moderators and facilitators, you really have an opportunity to take this discussion anywhere you'd like. If you want to say, this insight came to me as I listened to the master teacher, or when I read this homily from Pope Francis, I was challenged in this way and I want to talk about it. You can throw up a discussion thread and go after it and guide the discussion where you'd like it to go. And hopefully folks will join in on that with you. If you're coming from a particular part of the country and you want to talk to other folks from your area, or if you are coming from a particular ministry perspective, like I know we have Amy from NACYML with us here. And so if Amy wanted to say, I want to talk to other folks that are ministering with young adults from this perspective, she could actually create a thread and in the subject title put, starting a thread for those in young adult ministry. And Amy could get a discussion going, again, on whatever topic Amy wants to dive into on that forum. She could start it and lead it, and they could go after it. So you have a lot more control in this MOOC as a learner to get the discussion going in the direction you would like it to go. So we're excited about that. The other opportunity for learning discussion you'll have in the MOOC is through the use of the expert forum or forums. A couple of the weeks we'll have two expert forums, but mostly it'll be one, but it'll be maybe a couple of weeks we'll have 2. But these expert forums, which we're really excited to have a great variety of experts, and we'll be promoting them each week to you, that you'll have an opportunity to engage in a learning conversation with these ministry experts who will guide the direction of the conversation and offer their insights to your questions. And so in the expert forums, our experts will be making an initial post and getting a conversation going on a broad focused question. For example, in week 2, we're really excited about having a conversation in the expert forum with a number of experts in the area of social and digital media. And we're really going to be talking about how do we utilize digital and social media to share the message of God's mercy, and as a church, share the mercy of God with young people. So we have folks like Michael Marchand from Project YM, and our own Joe Wires, who will be joining us, as well as Eric Groth from Outside the Box, who will all be coming together to share some insights with you, and you can come in and ask them for questions. It's going to be a great opportunity, so we really want to encourage you to participate in that. So what makes good for a good learning discussion that promotes learning? You know, I just want to say a couple of words about this, and we'll be doing a short demo for you about how to make a post. We're going to do that in this orientation, but I'm also going to put together a small screencast for you. What makes for a good discussion that promotes learning online? Well, a couple of things are real important. First of all, the subject line is really important. You should have a good, succinct subject line that either has a question in it or has a short, brief summary of your main point or what the topic is that you're bringing about for the group to discuss. And it's important when you go to reply to people that you also change your subject line to, again, summarize your main point. And the reason I say that is because in these online discussions, these long threads, sometimes if it's just reply, like in a laddered format, it's really hard to follow the discussion. So by changing the subject lines, we really can help people begin to do that. The cool thing about Blackboard is it lets you know which how many posts have been unread. And so that's a great thing about it. And Joe will demonstrate to you today how you actually can subscribe to threads and to forums if you want to get email notifications about that. But be careful, if you subscribe to a forum and it's a busy one, you could get flooded with email notifications. You might want to stick to, for example, back to my example about Amy. If Amy starts a discussion thread for young adults ministers, you might want to, as a young adult minister, join that and subscribe to that thread. And Joe will explain that to you in just a moment. The other thing is to be brief and also to add meaningful conversation at the same time. You know, it's okay to tell stories. It's okay to wax on a bit, but the longer the posts are, the more opportunity people will be to just move on to the next one. Unfortunately, because of the number of people in the MOOC, as well as our attention spans these days, it's probably good to keep your posts relatively brief. So I want to encourage you to do that, but I also want to encourage you not just to put posts that are, oh, that was a great idea, Joe, I'm glad you shared that. I want to encourage you also to add to the discussion. If you think it was a great idea that Joe posted, tell him what part you thought was a good idea, or ask Joe a question, just like you would if you were having a conversation with folks. Sometimes we make these kind of posts, we think about that as one way. And in this MOOC, we'd really like to create some conversation and dialogue. Other ways to share learning in this MOOC will be having social media sharing. We have a Pinterest board that's been set up. We'll be using the NACYML Facebook and NFCYM Facebook pages, and we'll be using Twitter as well each day. So we'll be pushing out content. We actually have a number of quotes from the readings that have been identified. And so if you follow any of those different social medias and you use the hashtag NACYMLMOOC, then you can just retweet that content out to your own followers and to those on your Facebook friends. Another way you can share and learning the MOOC is by participating in a live group. A number of parishes and dioceses are doing live MOOC groups where they're coming around the content and sharing. If you're doing that, I'm going to put up in just a moment a link for you And if you signing up that you're doing this live MOOC, just letting us know what your group is. This kind of stuff is really helpful so that we can continue to get funding for the MOOC, so that we can continue to offer it for free. Also, we still have some space available for some online groups. So if your diocese or parish would like to have its own online group, we'd be happy to set that up for you, but you would have to facilitate it. So again, if you have a QR code, I'll leave this up just for a minute, but this is the form you'd complete to host your own online group. This is also the form you would complete to indicate that you have a live group happening. And then finally, help us spread the word for the NACYML MOOC. This is the QR code. This is the short address. We really would love to reach 1,000 people. We're not there yet. And again, for funding issues, it'd be great to get that number. But more importantly, it would be great to have that many people be a part of this very important conversation that we're going to be having about being a church of mercy. And especially through the lens of those working with families and young people. I'm just so excited, and I can't wait to have these conversations with you. So we want to thank you for attending the webinar. Now, we're not done yet. That's just our last slide, so I'm just putting it up there, and I wanted you to see the hashtag, but I'm going to fix that, and I'm going to say it's NACYML MOOC, not NACYML MOOC exclamation point. So NACYML MOOC. So Joe, I'm going to quit sharing my screen, and I'm going to turn it over to you so that you can take us on a tour of the live MOOC site. If you have any questions, folks, please feel free to type them in to the chat box.
Okay. Sorry, we've been having some technical issues, and I thank you, everyone that's been sharing them with us in the chat box, because it gives us a good idea, and I've already private messaged a few of you to talk to you about this afterwards, because we want to have those solutions. This orientation is just as much practice run for us, so that way when we get into the live sessions with all of our panelists next week and for the following 3 weeks, that we'll be able to provide those quick and easy solutions to everyone. So thank you for sharing them with me. Sorry for those of you that are having that difficulty right now, but hopefully we'll figure this all out by next time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the course. Our course is hosted once again by CourseSites or by Blackboard. It's their free MOOC learning, and sorry, I'm just trying to share my screen here. Make sure that it's on. Okay.
All right, great. Yep, we can see it.
Excellent. So I'm purposely logged off. When you go to our site or your bookmark, this is what you'll see. If you ever lose this bookmark, let me just go to nacyml.org. If you ever click the online registration is now open or where to register, you will get to where you need to go. And this is what that will look like. If you have not enrolled yet, you're going to want to click self-enroll in this course. If you are, log in as an enrolled student. And so we're going to log in, and that way we can get straight into it. Your username and your password are always right here. You can always, if you ever forget your password, you can click there and get in. So here is our home page, and you'll be able to see that we have, we're going to be using images and graphics a lot more this go around. We have here, you can, right now, if you go there, you are able to click this link, and that will take you to our orientation week, which will have everything. Before I do that, though, let me just show you also that we'll always have this menu too. And so you could all get to the same spot with orientation week right here with weekly content, or as we go on, we're going to have week 1 and week 2 up there as well. So you can always do that and get there. We also have our live sessions link right here. Again, same website you're currently on.
And so what our plan is, I'll just jump in here. What our plan is, because Joe's about to show you how you can click that link. So if you just are looking for the most simple way to get into the content, I want to just encourage you to just, it'll say orientation has begun, click here, and it'll take you straight to that spot in the course. We'll do that for each week. So course 1, so if you're looking to come in and you're wanting to see some of the content that's there for this week, you just click on it and go.
All right.
So they're only seeing me, they're saying, Joe.
Oh, well, I think I fixed that.
Charlotte, just see Charlotte too. Yeah.
Sorry. All
They're
right, well, let me
seeing
go over that again.
Sure.
Sorry, everyone.
So how about now? You seeing are folks seeing the screen, the website? Fixed now. All right, great.
I hope so. Great, yay! Technology, it's going to help us someday. It's great, and we're loving that we're able to do this. So again, here's our homepage. As I said, this is when you come in, this is the first thing you'll see, our header, which will be consistent throughout, and then a hyperlink right here. This will always change each week, and you'll be able to click here straight to go into that week's content. However, as I was trying to show earlier, we have this menu here on the left side, which will always take you to everywhere that you need to go, will be here as well. And so you can get to our live sessions by clicking here. You can get to the weekly content, which is the same link from this image. It's always going to be right here. Then you can also get to all those discussion boards here too. So you can get to our intros and our community forum and our expert and technical issues. And actually, as I'm in here, I apologize. I believe it was Greg earlier who had asked, how do I get to the prayer forum? And as I'm looking at this right now, I'm realizing that it's not live. So that's why you have not been able to see it yet. So that's something that we will have to fix immediately. But you will see it right here in this discussion board. So that way you can post anything, and then we can pray together as a group for your needs, for your intentions, and then you can too. While it is a massive course, it is still a course, and so we do want that intimacy that we can get typically if you were, just a 15 or 20 person classroom where we do pray for each other, we do talk to each other, and so thank you. And those are where the forums that Charlotte was talking about earlier, the community forum and the expert forum, as well as our introduction. So let me just show off that before we get into the actual content. And here we have all, we have everyone that has already posted in introductions. If this was unread, let me take one that was unread. You'll be able to see that it's still bold. And you then can go and what's already been read, what hasn't been read. You can also go and you'll see how many posts are in each thread. So that way, if you want to go see, hey, who's the most popular person, you can go and see that. So right now, nobody's responded to me, so that's okay. But Charlotte has a response, so let's click on her and pick on her today. And she explains who she is 4 hours ago. And then Laura responded to her. I think, Laura, if you're listening to us, you might want to repost this as your own thread. But let me just say reply to Charlotte. And we're just going to say thanks for joining us. Typically, we wouldn't want to be doing something so simple. But for now, let's go ahead and do that.
Show them how to change the subject line, Joe.
So right here is the subject. You delete it like you would an email. How about we tell Charlotte that she's awesome? Say thanks for joining us. If you ever wanted, you can add images. You can also attach files. So if there's anything that you're saying, hey, I have a great resource for that, or I know somewhere that looks, you can throw that in there too. And always share that with us. It's a great way for us to continue to collaborate with us. Once you're done, click submit. And you'll see that it's replied. So let's go back to that forum, and I'm going to go right up here to our address, our course address bar. I'm going to click the forum. And now I see the 3 total posts here, that third post. The other thing I can do, oh, someone said hi to me. Thank you. We'll look at that in a minute. The other way that we can utilize our forum, so let me go to our CEU forum. Nope, I'm sorry. Well, let's see here. Yes. Okay. Nobody has posted anything in our CEU group forum. So our continuing education units, several dioceses ask for your ministers to continually continue your education and get credits, and so we are offering three units for completion of this course. You can get more information on what that looks like here and additional resources, and I'll actually touch that in a few minutes. But in most of our forums, you're going to see this button right here, subscribe. And this is what Charlotte was talking about a few minutes ago with how if you click a thread, or if you create a thread or a forum, you can then click subscribe. So that way, anytime anyone says anything to you in response, you can get that email. Based on that topic, most of it's going to actually be threads that you can subscribe to. But for this one, we have forums. So that way the CEU groups in particular is a little bit more together, and you get those emails if you want it. As Charlotte said, though, be careful. Because if it's a thread that is just going to keep going on and on, you're going to end up checking your email inbox and potentially having 100 different emails saying so and so said something. So all right, so let's go back to our home page. Now let's go into our weekly content. And so I'll click Orientation Week has begun. Click here for the readings, the resources, and everything. And you're going to see this is what our typical week is going to look like. We have a week overview. And so we're going to try and really outline how to best utilize this MOOC and what to do to enjoy this week. Typically, this will probably also be emailed to you on Sunday. So we invite you to download the orientation packet, as well as the Bowl of Benediction. The Bowl of Benediction from Pope Francis, proclaiming the Year of Mercy. We thought that was a great reading to get us started and get us going. And that way you can kind of understand why we're in this and why we chose this, because he also talks about, one of the great things are in this explanation of the year, Pope Francis invites all of us to better understand mercy, and so this is us answering his call. You're also able to watch Bishop Caggiano's video. You can click straight from here, and that's going to take you straight to the YouTube link. Now, one thing that we're doing, at least with Bishop Caggiano's, we're still not sure if we're going to do this with all of our videos, but we've also uploaded it to Facebook. We know that when you share videos on Facebook, it actually works better if you upload the same video to Facebook instead of just a YouTube link. And so we wanted to, at least with this first one, to share that. Now, the second part that I want to say is I've already seen Dr. Tim Hogan's video and Dr. Bob McCarty's video for week 2, and I want to tell you right now that we're in for a really great treat with all these videos. They're amazing. I think, in fact, I even told Dr. Hogan after watching his and getting his already, I said, I see that a lot of people, I think, are going to watch this and they're going to do exactly what I did, which was then as soon as I finish it, go to my wife and say, hey, you need to come and watch this now. And it's going to be a great resource to share with parents in many ways. And so this is one of the beauties of this MOOC and everything being so open. And so again,
parents can join us, if you want to. This is a free educational experience. So you can put it in your bulletins, you can share it with whoever you'd like on your websites. I'm hoping that we had parents, a lot of parents last time, and I'm hoping we'll have some parents that join us this time as well. Catechist, anybody.
Yep, and that's what I was going to say. Is make sure you tell them all, because these are, to be honest, I think it's good. It's kind of like stealing if we keep this all to ourselves. So share this wealth. So there you go. If you haven't yet, please do introduce yourself in that discussion board. You are able to get to our prayer request forum here too. Thank you for joining us now. If you're not and you're watching this on the recording, we'll always have the links as well to our live sessions here. And then here we go. We say, please invite someone else. And we're going to give you a preview to next week's course. And so,
can you scroll? Yeah. So look, and then, you know, so you'll have an introduction, as Joe is saying at the top, but then if you scroll down, you'll see all of the resources are right there for you.
Yep. So we have our orientation pack, the reading, and then all of our readings. We have all of our readings this go around, or this MOOC, come from different homilies, messages, or speeches from Pope Francis over the last 3 years. And so we've taken the PDFs from the Vatican website. So these are their translations. We have taken them and we have broken them down into 3 different or into different PDFs. So each week we will provide that week's packet. But if you like, you can download all the readings right now. It's about 49 or 50 pages, I believe. And you can see everything in that way. And then you also have it PDF, and you have an electronic version if you want to keep it on your tablet or your iPad or your phone, or even on your computer, and just always have it in that way in one document. Again, we will provide the direct links though too, so that way if you want to go to those to get them individually, you can as well.
Anytime you see a folder like you see there, if you click on that, that's going to take you actually to a list of documents. And so you see all the packets that and all the items that are right there. So thanks, Joe. So folders, last time we used a lot more folders. In order to simplify, we've created a much more linear experience for the MOOC in terms of the content, so that you can know exactly where you are and how to go through it. And so you can see, you could click right there and see Bishop Caggiano's video. And then below that is
the link to the discussion forum for your introduction. Right. And
so we do have some questions about CEUs, Joe. So I wonder if you could possibly go to the CEU info whenever you get a chance, just to show them that.
Let me click this, since we had one question that asked. Okay. So I see. So nope, that's the prayer request form still is not working, that link. So we will get that fixed within the hour of the completion of this. CEU. So CEUs, we're going to add some more information also later this week about this, because everything that we're doing correlates to our national certification standards. Which you have one more week. Let me just throw that plug out there. We have one more week to get your portfolio. The due date is Tuesday, March 1. So get your portfolio in to the National Certification Committee, or the Committee on National Certification, I'm sorry. From my understanding, it'd still be done. So if you can,
right.
If you haven't
so that's
started,
for national certification. That's not for CEUs, so don't get confused.
Correct. That was just a separate plug, since I know that. But everything correlates to that, and whether you're going for certification or not, you're still able to gain a CEU. And so we have 4 primary steps to that. First, you have to be in the CEU group, and within that group, especially within this group forum, which is always going to be listed under the discussion boards, you need to engage in that conversation regularly. And so you need to at least have one original post to the 3 general questions. So there's always going to be 3 questions that we ask. Typically, Charlotte, I can't remember the wording of those, but do you remember them?
I'm sorry, I was replying to a chat question.
No problem.
Say that again.
What are the 3 general questions for each week in the CEU are?
Oh, yeah. So they're just some basically, you know, what insights did you gain? How will you apply this? Those kind of questions. So they're just basic
Yeah.
questions like that. So general
Okay.
questions.
And so we're going to ask that you do give a paragraph response to each of those by Tuesday. And the reason why Tuesday is important is it gives your colleagues a chance then to reply. And as part of this assignment or these requirements to gain these units, then you need to reply to at least 3 different colleagues to their thoughts. Doesn't have to be 3 per question, just needs to be 3 different responses. And we're going to
Just to be
recommend that
clear, this has to be in the CEU forum. So even if you participate in other forums, which we hope you would, but if you're going for CEUs, these posts have to be done there.
I'm sorry. The other recommendation we'll have is to keep these in a Word document, a regular Word document, just always add, because that's going to make life easier for you at the end. At the conclusion, your form is going to stay active for an additional week or 2. And we're going to ask that you summarize your MOOC experience afterwards with what does it mean to be a merciful church, as well as how will you apply this understanding of being a merciful church to your leadership style or to who you are as a leader, and then share that with the entire group. And this again is that collaboration, this learning from each other. And finally, to receive the credit, you have to then turn in your learning journal. And this is where that keeping that Word document of all of your answers comes into play, because your learning journal, all it is, it's all of your original posts. It's all of your posts from the forum. So if you copy and paste that, and you keep that going, you'll actually have this done on March 19th when you post your summary. Send that into the Committee on National Certification, and they will review everything. They're going to verify that yes, you did make the post, and then they will be forwarding you the CEU certification or the credits for those. So, Charlotte, were there any other questions regarding CEUs?
No, that was it. Basically, the question about do they have to join the group, and yes, they actually have to join that forum in order to do that. And that'll basically be how you sign up to be a part of the MOOC. The other thing I would like to say is that we're excited again this year to provide you some learning content from our learning content sponsors, such as the Center for Ministry Development, Outside the Box, RCL, St. Mary's Press, just to name a few. And so we're excited about that. So we want to encourage you. Again, it'll be in that long list, linear list of content will just be all there. So you just keep scrolling down. We're probably not going to be putting that in a separate folder just to make it easier for you to access. So we want to encourage you to look through those resources. Some of them are additional articles for you to reflect on, but a lot of them are great videos. Eric from Outside the Box has agreed to give us 1 or 2 videos each week, normally that he would charge for, and he is sharing those free with MOOC learners, just like he did last time. The same thing with some of the different publishers are sharing various resources with you. So please take advantage of that. There's great things out there, and we really do appreciate all our sponsors, both the weekly sponsors that include our weekly sponsors. You want to tell them who our weekly sponsors are?
Yeah. Our weekly sponsors for week 1, we have the Institute of Pastoral Studies from Loyola University Chicago, as well as and then week 2, we have as a sponsor will be St. Mary's Press, and then our week 3 sponsor is Catholic Relief Services. And so we appreciate all of them that are not only just sharing their wisdom, their content, their guidance with us, but they are also they've also made it a financial investment in this as part of their sponsorship. They help provide and make sure that this is happening, and so we are grateful for that, because it's really nice. So just as a FYI, we didn't have week 1 live yet, but let me show that for a second, and you can see kind of what Charlotte was talking about here. You'll see that week 1 will be showed here in the weekly content. We have our link to our panel discussion, who is going to be in it. And you can see that we always will have a panelist from our sponsor. So we're grateful again from Institute of Pastoral Studies and Marian Diaz, who will be joining us. But you'll see, we have Tom East from CMD. We have Noel Garcia from World Library Publications and speaker and author musician. Lisa Hendy, if you know CatholicMom.com or like her books. She's going to be joining us in this panel. Then Christina Lamas from the Archdiocese of LA and NCCL. She's going to somehow survive LA Congress this weekend and hop on to our panel next week. So we're grateful for that. And then again, as we talked about earlier, we have that Q&A session, that debriefing with our keynoter live immediately after our panel at 2:45. So we'll always have then also our keynote speaker and a short biography from them as well. I do want to say thank you to RCL Benziger, because they are the ones that are sponsoring and supporting Dr. Hogan for joining us. And so we're able to bring him on because of their generosity. And so we are grateful.
So Joe, they're just seeing me again. So there's something
I fixed
you're doing. That. Well, I guess you didn't. So, yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Seeing a picture now of your baby.
Seeing a picture of my baby?
Yeah.
Now I don't know what you're seeing.
So I'm not sure what everyone else is seeing.
Okay.
I'm seeing your screen, and I've been seeing your screen, but I don't think they are. So we need to
Okay.
still just me. So whatever you did that you thought you fixed it, we need to go back to that.
I saw what I did. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's okay. I mean,
okay.
Just so that you know that.
So
I do have one question from someone. So if you want to take that.
Sure.
Juki says when she is watching this on her iPhone, every time she goes to the comments, the video stops. And so it seems like they play against each other a little bit. So why don't you go back? Yeah.
On her iPhone?
Yep.
Okay. That could just be because of the small screen going back and forth, or how iOS works. iOS is not typically like, I'm not sure. We'd have to talk to to Bruce Baumgartner, the technical advisor, the director of technologies for NFCYM. There might be some Flash in the script, and I know iOS really does not like Flash, so we'll have to take a look into that. So
thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Sharon, we are, week 1 is up right now, Sharon, but we will be deactivating that in just a moment, because we still are loading some of the content. We just put that up so that y'all could see it in terms of what it would look like, but we'll be taking that down. So just in case you, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're seeing your screen now. So
good. Yay. And so this is that folder where we're going to have all that learning content from all those different places that Charlotte was talking about, outside the box, and all of our others. You'll see there's nothing to display there yet. And so you'll want that. So we want to keep that. You'll have all of our readings here, as well as that PDF that I was telling you about, that you'll be able to download them all in one shot. But then also, if you want to go directly to where they are on the Vatican website, you can do that too.
okay, so does anybody have any other questions? I think, Joe, we're about running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
We do appreciate all of you joining us for this live session. We're happy to stay on and answer some questions if folks have them. Please help us spread the word so we can have a great learning conversation with all aspects of the church. I'm not going to take these comments, personally, that says, unfortunately, only seeing Charlotte. I won't take that personally. All right. Thank you all very much for participating. It's great to be with you. Joe and I'll stay on for just a minute here, but we really are done with the orientation. We look forward to learning with you in the next 3 weeks. Thank you again for your time today. Thanks, Joe, for all your insights and for all the work you've done. We appreciate it. And a special thank you to Michael Tyson as well, the other member of the core team, Michael Tyson from the NFCYM staff. So we've had great support from the NFCYM and pulling off this MOOC. So we're excited. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Janet, I'll be sending you that in just a minute. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so you want to go on live? You stopping it?
We can't go on live yet until we know there's no more questions.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
they
I'm
can't
getting a
see
lot
us.
of thank you. That's right. They'll go away.
Yeah.
Your haircut really does look good.
Now I have to go back and edit all this.
No,
Thank you for that.
no, you don't. It's okay. These are the outtakes for the MOOC orientation webinar. It's all right. These are the outtakes.
Yeah.
All right. Doesn't look
Precious,
like we have any
stop the
questions.
broadcast.
All right.